Hello and good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Tech Talk Tuesday for Teachers. And my name is Meenakshi Oberoi. I welcome you all to this webinar. And yes, this webinar is being recorded. The recordings will be available on our YouTube channel. So you can just be around and focus on what our conversations are, participate in them. Let's be very, very responsive. And I know teachers are joining slowly, so I'm just going to give it a slow start, but we'll pick up the pace as we move on. So, welcome once again. I'm really delighted to have you here today for this conversation on designing AI infused and AI resistant plans. Well, I thought I was still having a conversation about what's AI, when is it coming to the classrooms? When did we arrive at this moment where we need to start talking about designing AI infused and AI resistant plans? Well, it so happens that in my profession, I meet teachers every day. And I see a lot of doubt, I see a lot of confidence, and there's normally a kind of a great conflict in the room. Therefore, we thought this is a great topic to bring into this room and have a discussion. We are living in a moment of artificial intelligence reshaping education, not as a replacement of teachers, but I think as a powerful thinking partner. But at the same time, we know that the heart of the teaching lies in, lies in being with the students, creating those moments of creativity, empathy, and connection. And this session today is all about exploring that balance, finding out when to infuse AI to accelerate personalization or probably efficiency, and when to resist AI to preserve our own relations, imagination, ethics, and probably the tactile engagement that we have in our classrooms. So, together today, we'll share compelling stories of classrooms where experimentations have happened with AI, looking at practical examples of where does AI support my process, but the students own the product, because most of the classrooms we get to hear, students just copy from either generated responses and they just bring it to class. How do we handle that? Now that's a common one, and that's also reflect on the key question that does this task really benefit from automation, or does it really lose its soul if you automate a task? So co-creating ideas for lesson plans and using the best of the technologies, I think one thing that remains irreplaceable is the human touch. So whenever we talk about all of this, one thing is I'm very sure about is that this is not about choosing sides. It's not about, designing with AI infused or AI resistant plans. It is about designing with intention. I've always spoken about this in my sessions, that it's all about the purpose. If we are clear about the purpose and knowing when can AI elevate my teaching and when my presence will, will come in, or, is anyway replaceable, then that's the crux that we are going to explore today. So let's dive in, stay curious, and co create this vision of classroom where AI empowers teachers, students, and helps us enhance the learning outcomes without ever replacing the soul of the educator. On that note, well, you're in our room today, and I would love to know who you are, where you're joining us from. So share your name, your school name, city, and share with us what's your current relationship with AI in teaching. Are you curious, cautious, confident, or conflicted? Too many things said. Well, before I deep dive into anything, I think I would love to know where you stand today. On your screen, you're looking at these four options. Choose the one that describes you the best. Let me help you by telling you what does each one of these means. Curious, as you know, that you're, intrigued. You're exploring the possibilities, and you're open to learning more. Then you're curious. You're cautious. You see the potential of AI, but also risks. So you want to move very carefully. Confident. You've already experimented and you feel comfortable integrating AI tools. Then you're confident. Conflicted? Well, your tone, like most of us, excited by opportunities but worried about the implications. I'll wait for your introductions in the chat window. Give me who you are, where you're joining us from, and who are you? What's your current relationship with AI? I love Nidhi ma'am because she kickstarts my conversations always. Thank you for your partnership here. She says, I'm confident but curious. Yeah, you could swing between the two. In fact, you could swing between all the four in different situations because we are in new situations every day where AI is concerned, right? So, yeah, I think I see many of you typing. So, I'm going to give you a minute to type. Okay, Ravinder sir, thank you for joining us. Lovely to see you here. Do let us know what is your current relationship with AI in teaching. Oh wow, we have um, let me read your name properly and not mispronounce it. It's Abhivimi Patnaik from Jamnagar, KD. ARFS. Lovely to see you here, and you're confident. Lovely to see confident people in the room. Pooja ma'am from Amity International Circuit, lovely to see you here. Curious and confident. I love the way we have so many curious people, but also either cautious or confident. Ravinder sir says, I'm a bit curious and cautious. I think that's a great stage to be in. Fantastic. Good to see you, Pooja ma'am, over here. And you say, I am you from Sector 17, Rohini. I'm curious regarding the use of AI, but cautious too. I think that's a very good place to be in. Chavi ma'am, thank you for joining us from VGS Rohini. I think I have a lot of Rohini today in my room, but love it. I'm both curious and confident. Well, that's exactly and typically what we were expecting as your responses to be. Because yes, I think as teachers, we're always curious to know what's the latest, what's next. We're also very cautious while bringing this in because we want to do it mindfully. We're confident because I think we've done this for years, and anything new is only an add on where we will know how to blend it in. And conflicted because there are so many new things that are coming in. Yes, thank you. So many more responses. Raja Lakshmi ji says, I'm curious and cautious. You know what? I think with this great space over here, let me move you to the next one. I'm sure you've heard this as well. Will AI make teachers obsolete? Let me bring the elephant out in the room. Artificial intelligence continues to grow by leaps and bounds. And for many of us, when we met our first GPT, I think we started asking a lot of questions. What can AI assistants do? And what can't they do? Will students use these to cheat? That was the most popular question that is still being asked. How will this change the workforce? And what do we need to prepare my students for this? And of course, big existential question for all of us as teachers. After all the books, podcasts, blogs, presentations, forums that I have consumed, I think here's the best answer. No, AI will never make teachers obsolete. Of course, all of us, have our own interpretation of what does it mean to be obsolete. But here are many reasons into why I think teachers will never be obsolete. First one, a quick path on this. Okay, I'm going to be very I'm going to spend very less time on this because I know you know, but I think sometimes to put it out there really helps. Education is slow moving. We all know that, even if the world is changing very fast around us, I think uh, we are we are as an education institution huge and slow moving. And these enormous changes that keep coming in don't do anything very quickly because when there's a huge vessel and a huge ship that sails, if you need to turn it around, sometimes it has to travel more than a mile to just turn around, right? it The whole dia is so much that uh, that vessel or that ship will take time to turn around. Education is just like a barrage, right? It's just like that. From the top down, from the lawmakers to the state officials to the school boards to administrators to educators, change is going to be slow because we are already starting to see a lot of impact of AI, and we cannot just infuse anything into a classroom. It has to be a very mindful and thoughtful change because we are creating the societies of tomorrow. We are not just going to take up something and adopt it and without thinking and just bring it into our classrooms, right? I mean, look at the overhaul that we did before. We thought COVID-19 pandemic uh, would just make teaching a remote piece. We did remote teaching, and we thought this is so good, and it would cause to level up our technology and our practices to be only remote by nature. But look at us. Years later, lots of classrooms and schools are still doing the things that they used to do just before COVID. In case inertia is our friend, we could have actually moved forward, right? Parents. Parents still want humans, teachers for their kids. Take a moment, recall the COVID days. I think the most panic that we got was not from kids, but from parents. When are you getting them back into the school? Literally, that pushed us into reopening the schools, opening our doors, and bringing students back. It really cracks me up how some of the parents actually made calls to teachers to ask, when are you reopening the schools? It wasn't because they couldn't handle their children. It is because they could not handle the way we as teachers are able to lend to them. Now, if we as teachers, you know, are in crosshair today and have a lot of issues and a lot of things to handle, then I think praising the teachers is one thing that I want to do right here because there is no match to a human connection, and it takes a lot for students to make that connect that they make with teachers to make with any other human being. They see you as a provider of knowledge, information, empathy, and a relationship into building and shaping their minds. They might not say it to you, but honestly, if we turn back into our school days today, I think we would also want to thank our teachers into shaping who we are, isn't it? Education isn't an information delivery system, and you'll agree. And we as teachers have long served more than that. So, whether it be your internet or YouTube or Wikipedia or academies of the world, or before we even depended on encyclopedias, I think we as humans had access to information which we beautifully share with our students, prepare them for life so that we are able to shape each student's needs in a way that they consume it. So, to be more specific, there have been resources all around us all our life. AI is just another source that has come in. What we as teachers do is we integrate this into teaching to help students learn. And our objective just remains the same. I would love to, quote Yeats over here, William Butler Yeats. Education is not filling of a pail, but lighting of that fire. And that inspiration, that relationship, that camaraderie, that experience, all of it are a part of an education experience which no other resource, whether it be AI or any other, will be able to provide. AI technology has long way to go because I think it's just about begun. And the good part is we as teachers today have jumped in to shape it according to us. Tools like Copilot are lending in the right way now. They're not giving me the content, or they're not asking me to teach a particular way, but each teacher will have their own way to carry forward this learning, compose text, even prose, songs, lyrics, dialogues. Add all of that to the content that you're already teaching, and demonstrate and motivate students and reach out to student of every ability. Now, this is where AI can be a great or can be of great help, but can also be an ultimate tutor as well. Because the truth is that AI models have a long way to go, but we are shaping them every day. So each one of us can shape AI, mold AI in a way that you, me, and my students are using in a way that is required for them and by them and not being imposed on them. Yeah. Last but not the least, I think AI provides the entire human experience. It cannot really provide that. You know, even if you give a student a feedback from an AI model, it will be very encouraging to say, you're thinking on the right track. And then you feel very good about it. But after some time, after every question, if you get the same response, I think it becomes very plastic and it very becomes very botoxed. I always say that, right? AI isn't able to console you when your sum goes wrong the fifth time also. It can only tell you, you can try like this, or you can do this. But the look in the eyes of the student, the empathy in the eyes of the teacher's voice, the teacher's way, and the demeanor, the way you handle the whole situation, I think that's a light bulb moment no AI tool will ever be able to provide to anybody. And of course, above all, learning is a social task. It really isn't about, learning in silos. I can give an AI tutor, the child can actually go on practicing with it, but think of all the important parts of school experience or an experience of a playground or an experience of telling jokes to friends and being a member of a club. We're depriving our students or even a sports team. We're going to deprive our students of all of that. No, that's not what we're looking for. So I hope, I have been able to convey that teaching for sure is the heart of the entire system of education. And with that thought, I have put those worries to rest, that I'm not sure what's going to happen if AI comes to my class. So I hope that question is now behind us. But if you have any more doubts, any more, pieces of, or any thoughts or any worries, do share in the chat window. I would love to address those as well. Yeah. So, coming to today's topic directly, and that is about AI infused planning. Now, I think I need to pause here to actually clarify what is AI infused and what are AI resistant, for a very simple reason that we should be able to have a clear demarcation between the two. And I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather, recovering side. So I will be coughing a bit in between. So pardon me for coughing, please. Okay, AI infused planning. So when lesson planning um, is done in such a way that we intentionally integrate AI tools for different reasons. Let's say I want to bring in personalization, differentiation, efficiency, inclusivity. Then those are AI infused because my intent is very clear, my purpose is very clear. So the purpose of this is that use AI as a thinking partner to create resources that will adapt content and provide data driven insights. For example, let's say I'm using Copilot to generate different worksheets, right? So in that worksheet, I'm asking for differentiated levels, not just of levels of learning, but also probably abilities, which means somebody must be a linguistic learner, somebody must be solo sport, somebody must love to learn in groups. So I'm trying to do everything between multiple intelligences and different levels of learning in my classrooms. This is what would be AI infused. Employing immersive reader to make my content more accessible to diverse learners. I like to read when the background is yellow. I like to read when the background is black. All of that is making accessible content accessible, right? And a simple tool like immersive reader can do that. I'm going to pause here because I have spoken about immersive reader in many sessions. In fact, it's one of my favorite tools, but I think it's only befitting because I do have new audience today. I am going to go ahead and show you something. So do take notice over here that I'm now moving out of my presentation and I'm going to Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge is Microsoft browser. You would have seen E on your laptops. Otherwise, go to your app store to download Microsoft Edge and log in with your IDs. You see over here, I'm logged in with my ID over here. And yes, there's Copilot sitting here as well. Copilot is a seamless part of our life now. So yeah, you'll find it everywhere. So here is me signed in Edge browser. Why am I signed in? Let me tell you. Look, there's Copilot here as well. I can show you Copilot everywhere and it's all surrounding me, right? Now, what should I do? Let's say I want to find out, this is nice, earthquake. Okay, let me find out about earthquakes because I heard about my students talking about an earthquake in Japan today. It'll give you an option. Do you want to find out about earthquakes or do you want Copilot to find out? Do you want to find out about Copilots today or something else? Now you see, I'm not defining anything. I'm just saying earthquakes. Automatically, what will happen is Copilot search will come over here. It'll give me the latest news. Below that, I will only have education related material. No other material will pop up over here. There are no ads over here. What you will see over here is education related material only or news. Yeah. So I'm going to refine this and I'm going to say what are earthquakes? And I want to show you the change. Now, do you see the change? Currently, I was looking at only news about earthquake because Japan has just last night experienced earthquake. I want to find out more about it. I don't need to go anywhere. Sorry, because everything is available over here. Either I can read more over here. This is Wikipedia for me. Or I could go ahead and look at more websites that are education related. Do you see? This is Britannica. This is NASA. All of these are great websites, and then there are videos. And this is Clear IAS. You could be looking at any of these websites. Why this has happened is because I'm logged in with my education ID. So the M365 education ID that you got will help you get only education related material. This becomes safe for both yourself and your students, and you don't have to filter so much out of your, uh, you know, entire search. Let me show you one more thing. We were talking about immersive reader. Now I'm going over here. You see, there is so much text, and now there are other things that are popping up. Why? Because now I'm inside a website. But right now, also, I can't read. Now, this is too much text for my students to read. Therefore, if you see over here, do you see these more actions here on top, my cursor on top right? Here, you have three dots. If you can't find immersive reader here, then you can go to these three dots and you can find immersive reader. All right. Now, I have immersive reader here. What immersive reader does is, look, it eliminated all the content that is not required and it brought to focus the content that I'm supposed to read. This is such a neat page. I would love to read. Yeah. But guess what? I'm a very lazy person. So I don't want to read. I'm going to make this piece read aloud to me. Let's hear it. Let me know if you can't hear
Earthquake.
it.
Earthquake damaged neighborhood of Port-au-Prince. At the residence of an earthquake damaged neighborhood of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, seeking safety in a sports field, 13th January, 13th January 2010.
Now you would have noticed what I'm doing. There are voice options over here. You can increase or decrease the speed at which it is being read. You can even have accents chosen from here as to who can read to you. Even within India, you have various voices between male and female voices. Right now, you will hearing from Nirja. Let's hear from Prabhat.
13th January 2010. The magnitude 7.0 earthquake struck the region the day before.
Well, he speaks so much like us, isn't it? Well, that's why these accents are very important and therefore my preference. Talking of preference, I was talking about backgrounds. You can choose any of these themes to read. Let's say you want a black or white, or you know what? I'm not really spoiling my students by giving them these choices. Sometimes we have personal preferences, and sometimes the text becomes so interesting by putting in another color or my favorite color that it just becomes more reader friendly. Or sometimes we have challenges like color blindness, which go unnoticed, and students suddenly start reading better in a different background. Doesn't stop here because there's something called reading preference here. We all know we all are multilingual classrooms, and we have many students who might not speak the language that we speak. We have multiple Indian languages. The last demo that I gave was in Gujarati. I have Hindi, Marathi, Punjabi, any language that you want. There are multiple Indian languages as well, and I can translate the entire page into my preferred language and get it read aloud to me. Let's see how this reads.
भूचाल पोर्ट ऑ प्रिंस हैती के भूकंप से क्षतिग्रस्त पड़ोस पोर्ट ऑ प्रिंस हैती के भूकंप से क्षतिग्रस्त पड़ोस के निवासी एक खेल के मैदान में सुरक्षा की मांग करते हुए
Well, likewise, you could actually choose your options and use immersive reader for this. Now, do you see this logo over here? This is immersive reader here on top. You can exit the immersive reader and come back to the normal mode or get back into immersive reader either from here or simply just go to these three dots and find immersive reader out here. All right, you can see the read aloud still sitting here. Yeah. So it's this simple to be able to make your classrooms AI infused. You see how simple this was? Well, sometimes simple things come in small shapes and small sizes. And I think this is exactly how, this piece comes in. So this is a perfect example of an AI infused classroom where I'm using it for a purpose that I'm trying to bring learning closer to my students, and I'm able to offer to them something that is more conducive for them to become better readers and probably make content more available in diverse formats. Yeah. Now, as I do that, let's also talk about AI resistant planning. What is AI resistant planning? Well, you deliberately resist automation. That is something I think all of us need to do. We need to prioritize creativity, ethics, and relational pedagogy. That is, if I'm delivering something and I deliver better, I don't think I have to give it to, AI to do it. We need to safeguard spaces where human judgment is required, empathy is required, imagination, because these are irreplaceable. I'll give you a very simple example. Storytelling circles, where we co create narratives without digital prompts. I can, as a teacher, use AI or Copilot to get the prompts, but don't just give it to students and let them write the story on their own. This has got to be a hands-on experience. So normally what I would do is I would do a story circle with my students. I would say, today I asked Copilot to give me some story prompts, and it gave me uh, great prompts, and I have shortlisted five of them today. And I used to have four rows in my class, four rows of students of desks, and I used to tell them each row will get a new prompt, but we are going to have story circles. So each group had a time with me to actually shape that story, where I would prompt them, using some simulations. For example, I remember I took this prompt, which was given to me by AI. A drop of water fell from the sky. Where did it go? And when I sit with my students, they'll give me various ideas, and I'll say, wait, 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 wait. I think I have something on my mind. I think I have a water cycle on my mind. What if it actually followed the water cycle? Okay, let's write a story about water cycle using this droplet. So this human touch only I can bring and stimulate or simulate, for my students. That entire piece I could role play as debates. Sometimes I would just say, uh, take a chapter out of history. you know um, Britishers came to India, they started ruling us, but whose fault was it? And there you go, you're getting the ball rolling over there for them to think the ideas. I might ask AI. So I'm using AI to not automate that, create these prompts and I'll give it to my students. I'm actually using that to be able to infuse curiosity, to be able to bring in imagination, to be able to bring in empathy and perspective into my classroom. So I hope I've been able to draw these two very clearly. And I'm sure you'll say, but how to differentiate? Well, I understand. It is still very difficult to differentiate between AI infused efficiency, planning, or AI resistant. So here are four factors for each. Efficiency. AI will help you reduce your repetitive task. That is great. Generating worksheets, making quizzes, more variety for questions, making lesson plan ideas, all of that very quickly is building in efficiency, using AI to bring in efficiency, and reducing your repetitive tasks. You sit down, you brainstorm with yourself, you brainstorm with your colleagues. They'll not have time, you will not have time. Better sit down with this thinking partner who can really help you. Then comes personalization. Tools like Copilot adapt content to different levels and needs, like I talked about. Not just levels. That, there are, let's say, 5 levels of worksheets that I need in my class, but there are also different needs in my classroom. Probably a student who who's more artistic by nature, or possibly a student who's more sporty by nature. I need to accommodate everybody, so try and give me examples even for a math worksheet. I would say, take examples of artists, take examples of sports for this concept. Let's say I'm doing division, I'm doing fractions, I'm doing linear equations. Let me bring in examples. Those will be real world examples, but will match the interest of the child. That's personalization. Accessibility. I've given you a huge example, immersive reader, reading progress. And there are so many reading coaches there. So there are so many examples there that you could actually pick up any to think about. Data driven insights. Now, what happens is when these students are using all of these tools, uh, there is student performance that is being analyzed by AI, which is fantastic. Like, for example, reading. While I'm doing reading with my students, I will make a human judgment over here. But I think I also need a scientific way to rely on my student on AI to let me know if over time, how many words per minute have been read, what is the accuracy with which this child is reading, what are the most commonly occurring words that this child, isn't able to pronounce properly or is not able to read. Sometimes there are some family words like, let's say EAR and earn words, which this child is not pronouncing properly. This AI can help. So think of an AI infused planning as your assistant who is helping you accelerate in preparation and expanding your reach to your students. AI resistant, on the other hand, would be the one where, for creativity, probably activities where you rely on imagination, originality, and a human expression, you could ask AI for ideas, but then infuse an element of creativity in it, wherein you have storytelling circles. Let's say, I made those rows and I said, all of you brainstorm together. So that AI can't do for them. They will have to sit together to do so. Or I did this project where, and Manju ma'am, I've noticed your question. I'll just come to it. Just give me a minute, please. And what happens is, I did this, social sciences project where we were studying the maps of India, and I divided the states of India into ours. We just literally had a jigsaw puzzle of map of India, and we gave our students in pairs and triads a state to study. The questions were same. We used AI and we said, okay, you can use AI for this. But when you're bringing the project together, you will have to tell. You'll have to have anecdotes. You should have to have interviewed some people from the state, or you should have actually have real, items from those places. Now, what am I doing? I'm bringing in nuances that actually bring in creativity, that will need human intervention. You will need to be ethical, because you'll have to have a judgment of, whether you are doing this. Is this a moral dilemma? If I'm just copying and pasting from somewhere and bringing, am I able to deliver value to, lending to this class when this map of India will come together? Also, emotional nuances. There are moments where you need empathy. Ma'am, I don't know anyone from the state of Bihar, but you know what? Maybe in our school there is someone who's from the state of Bihar. Let's find out. Now, that's an opportunity that, we are taking to bring in our emotional nuance, to be able to encourage students to handle and to talk to somebody. So, if you have these kind of elements that make AI, your assignments to be AI resistant, I think it just increases your own uh, being present for them and them being present in the assignment possible. Counseling discussions, reflective journals, these are all pieces which are very important pieces. Then tactile engagement would be, some hands-on sensory learning. For example, um, when my students did, that write up of the water droplet falling from the sky, I said, do you think you can make me a model of this story so that we can do kind of a puppet show for others to learn? And very quickly, they made those finger puppets. And believe you me, there is no way to go to artwork to make those big projects. We literally made finger puppets. So they took a small piece of paper, made a kind of a smiley, labeled it, and we just did the whole role play. So imagine this AI resistant planning can actually anchor your teaching and learning experiences. It preserves the human essence of teaching. And I think the key question that we have to ask here is, does this task really benefit from automation, or does it lose its soul if I automate it? If automated adds value, please use it, infuse it. But if automation dilutes your value and removes creativity, empathy, and connection, resist it. I'm going to pause here and I'm going to take the question which I have from Manju Gupta ma'am. Does this app Copilot has access to the curriculum of DOE? Well, the good news is it doesn't have access to anything. If you give it access, then yes, it will have. I mean, is it preloaded? What you're talking about, I think I know what you're talking about, and I'm just going to answer your question. Or do I need to upload the text every time? Manju ma'am, there are two things. Apps like these are pre-trained on content which is specific to an education system. For example, for India, Copilot has M365 Copilot education version has been trained on to deliver NCRT learning outcomes. So the learning outcomes that have been defined by NCRT, those have already been pre-fed in this. And I'll show you what I mean over here. Let me take you to Copilot. However, if you are talking about a particular chapter in your book or a particular topic which you are going to teach, you may have to upload. And to upload, all you need to do is simply just upload a file over here and it will refer to that file and work. If you're looking for something on preloaded content, then this is teach on the left hand side. This is only and only available with M365 Copilot, any version, whether it is the free version that is the A1 or A3 or A5 version, which are the paid versions that you're using. This is available all across. Under Teach, you have curriculum planning. And please note, right now you can only access it on a laptop. So please use your laptop. Go to copilot.microsoft.com and log in with your school ID. Here you will have a lesson plan. And let's say over here, I want to do earthquakes. I don't even know whether which grade it's being taught in, but I will just take right now grade 7 and I'm taking this and I'll say, let's say I need a lesson plan to introduce earthquakes um, to students. I need inquiry method and also a game-based real life experience, right? I can't give them earthquake experience for sure, but let me see what I get. All right. So this is what I want. And here you can add content. When it says add content, you can bring in your file. Let's say I already have a chapter on earthquakes, right? I can always upload that over here. Or whatever your NCRT books or any book has, you can always upload that if you have a PDF format or any format that you have. When I click on it and I say upload file, if you can see, it'll give me access to all my files, whether it is a PDF or a Word document or a PowerPoint. I can always upload over here. Yeah, so you upload that. Next, you click on add standards. Now, what are these standards? Over here, standards of various countries are given, and under India, you will find standards of various grades. Let's say India Social Sciences class 6 to 12th NCRT. I'm going to choose this and I will say, let's say grade 7. Subject, I'm choosing social sciences. And now I will say learning outcomes is what I'm looking for. Tick this box and go ahead and pull this down. Minute you pull this down, do you see this? I really like it that, all the outcomes related to my chapter is what I can choose over here, reflect the factors leading to disaster or calamities. And I've added just these two. And I'll say, now generate a lesson plan. Now, do you see? This, to begin with, is a AI infused lesson plan, but I am going to make it resistant by putting or adding over here another section where I will say um, hands on. You see, I had already made it real. Why? Because I had already put in game based role plays. In emergency, what do you do? How do you respond? It has already given me these activities. But if I still want to make it more resistant, I would say hands on activities. Okay. And I can give AI resistant responses, right? And I would again go ahead and add another item. It'll generate more. So what I'm trying to tell you over here is, let me not add this right now. This is already generated for me, so I can directly save it over here in my OneDrive. I don't need to download or upload this. I've simply just saved it. Yeah. And I can, of course, play with it. And if you want to view the document, the Word document is right over here, ready. Now, in this entire piece, what have I done is I have increased the efficiency with which I was working. I am able to deliver lesson plans that are learning outcome based lesson plans as required by NEP 2020, but I'm taking help of AI to do that. So using it in the right manner, in the right place is the key to the whole piece. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Thank you so much, Manju ma'am, for that acknowledgement. Um, I think Rajiv or Nair sir, you said you couldn't hear me, but I believe everybody can hear me. If you could please find a place where you could have better internet, it'll be great. I'm just going to take a few examples in our practical lives to actually emphasize on, what are these different examples and how to differentiate. Let's say we are doing creative writing. In creative writing, what is an AI infused plan? Students use M365 Copilot to generate story starters, or teachers can use that as you like it, depending on what you are. Probably you could also not just look at story starters, you could look at character sketch, you could look at plots, you could look at outline of a story. And you refine AI suggestions by giving your own narratives, learning to critique and edit machine generated text. Not just accept what has been given to you, but actually, change it, modify it. That's the crux. In AI resistant plans, students brainstorm story ideas through, let's say, peer discussion circles or mind maps, or, prompts or story box is what I used to play. So, what I used to do is I used to bring these bags. Those brown paper bags or those newspaper bags that you get when you bring, materials home, you get these paper bags. I used to randomly pick up objects out of my classroom, let's say, a pencil, a notebook, a paper clip, something like that, and or probably, I would just go around school, pick up random objects, a stone, probably a piece of paper or something, and I would just put them in box randomly, and I would say, here's a clutter of objects to you, make a story out of it. You know what happens? Creativity flows from human imagination without digital scaffolding. What we do over here is randomness. Now, obviously, I will not get more ideas every time. So, what I will do is I will go to Copilot, get my ideas, make those boxes myself, give it to students, and then they work on it. You see how the game changes? Well, let's move to maths. And maths is tough. Fractions. I think teachers use Copilot to create differentiated practices. I think that's something we must do, because adapting or adaptive nature is something that we must be able to leverage to be able to provide our students, various ways in which they can learn that concept. So yes, definitely a differentiated leveled worksheet, but I think also what could help is if we can have because you know what our charters are, that we should be able to use the Bloom's taxonomy verbs in our questions. But the problem is our students not always do they understand those verbs. If we have to get used to them, then I think we can offer them uh, more words, more vocabulary, more simplified ways of saying the same thing, or probably just breaking it down into steps for them. So that's what the AI infused plan would do for you. If we need to make it AI resistant, possibly I would include hands on fractions like cutting the fruits, folding paper, draw and share. And you'll say, yeah, we do all of this. But you know what? We can only think of as many analog methods. Go to Copilot, find out more methods of getting hands on, getting real life. Now that's where the game changes. You can make your exercise AI resistant by using taking help from AI. That's where we change the game. History, another one. Well, let's say we are doing causes of Indian independence movement, right? Now AI will generate timeline for you, which will help your students remember things very quickly. It'll generate summaries so that very quickly children are able to recall the facts about it. It'll help you with quiz questions. You can ask AI to help you take a quiz to memorize, or to support rote learning in your class. An immersive reader can support different learners so that they're able to read, and you can hear it. You know, so many times I remember my students, my own children would come to me to say, can you just read this to me? By now I'm tired of reading and it's a long chapter. And I would read to them. And when I'm reading to them, I emphasize on certain things. I'm making that exercise AI resistant. But I can always take help from AI also to say, help me memorize these facts about Indian independence movement. And you will see amazing ways in which it can offer you. Now, to make this AI resistant, we would say role play of historical figures is one thing. Two, debating about the whole history, like I told you. Or three, using library resources. So we did this once. We said there are many books here which will tell you Indian independence stories, and there are clues hidden over here. And we played a whole game for students to actually find that book, find that fact from that book, and bring it to class. So, teacher curated reading is something that you must think about. To get ideas about how to make these teacher curated reading pieces, ask AI. So, what I'm doing over here is I'm dodging between using AI and then making it AI resistant. The entire essence of this whole piece is purposeful use of AI. Differentiation, honestly, is not about choosing one side permanently. Ki, nahi, I'm going to stay AI resistant or I'm going to do AI infused only. It is about designing with intention. I think the whole idea of bringing out this conversation today is that we should be able to support, the process, and students should own that product. It shouldn't happen that if they're brought, what do we do about it now? I think AI can be used in the background to prepare resources, provide scaffolding, and give feedback. But foreground work, the student's response, creativity, empathy, hands on engagement stays AI resistant. And this way, we as teachers can design where AI supports the process and where students will own the product, and they're not shy of telling you, what, I think I used AI over here. More examples. I'm actually happy to, give you more examples. So let me just give you two more. And let me know if you want me to pause, I will. And if you have any questions, please either raise your hand or put it in the chat window. I would love to answer your questions. I always have more stories to tell than required. So please stop me, pause me, ask me more questions. I'll be happy to answer. So, if I were to create AI infused lesson, and my aim is that I should be able to accelerate personalization and efficiency, what should I do? Imagine you're teaching English or Hindi as a language. Instead of listening to every child read aloud one by one, yes, you read one line, you read next line, and then you read next line, you use a tool called Reading Progress or Reading Coach. This will listen to the student, check the pronunciation and fluency, and show where they struggle. And at the same time, Copilot can quickly create a different word list for you, easier ones for the beginners, more for advanced learners, and for students who are ready for the challenge. The entire or the overall impact will be that every child gets practice that fits their level. Teachers don't have to spend hours preparing these separate materials. AI can help you with that. You get instant feedback and reports from AI, so you know exactly who needs extra help and who is ready to move ahead. In short, AI can make language learning more personalized and efficient. It can help teachers focus on guiding and encouraging students, while the technology takes care of the repetitive task of, assigning those assignments, listening to students, getting a feedback, and then repeating that repetitive tracking and tailoring to the needs of the students. Now, tracking is something AI will do. Tailoring is something the teachers will do. That's the whole difference between using AI and where do I bring it back into my own hand so that, I am able to deliver what I want to deliver. Reading Progress is a part of Microsoft Teams. It's available free of cost, and I hope you've seen what Reading Progress looks like. If not, I'm happy to create an assignment right away and show you what it is. Give me a thumbs up if you know what is Reading Progress, or I would take it the other way around. Give me a thumbs up if you don't know what is Reading Progress or Reading Coach. Give me a thumbs up if you don't know what is Reading Progress or Reading Coach. Okay, good. All of you are familiar. Fantastic. For those of you who are new, I am just going to give you coach.microsoft.com. You could explore this and possibly in one of the sessions request that give us a demo or talk about this, and I'll be happy to talk about this. Yeah? Okay. Moving to the next example. Over here, sorry, moving to the next example. Over here, we are doing, let's say, creative writing. And we want to create, I think I've discussed this with you already. So I will move to the civics and history one. Yes, this is very important. Now, while AI is creating all those timelines and summaries and, giving me quick facts and doing the background, knowledge check for students, all of that AI can do for me. But where do students resist AI? Like I said, students love to look at a statement, and if that statement sounds challenging, it can actually infuse, thinking into us. Now, all of us have been listening for a very long time, and I want you to be the best judge of the statement that I'm going to give you next. AI has provided me the statements, so it has given me the context. I want you to engage in critical thinking and empathy, and I'm going to do this through human interaction. So here's a thought: AI can be your accelerator, but human presence is the soul of teaching. Debate it. So go ahead. This is your time to give me a response. If AI, if you agree that AI can be your accelerator, but human presence is the soul of teaching, give me your argument for and against it. Go for it. My chat window is open for you right now. I would love to hear your thoughts on, can AI be an accelerator and human presence is still the soul of teaching? Yes or no? Are you for the motion or against the motion? Use the chat window to quickly type an answer to this question. We are now debating this, and after the whole session, yes. You must ask me, why are you asking us this now? You should have asked us this in the beginning of the session, right? Go ahead, give me your argument. Because I think for long, I've been trying to, it shouldn't seem like I've been trying to convince you. I want to know your thoughts about AI can be your accelerator. That's why I've deliberately used can. But your human presence is the soul. Go ahead, debate it. I'm waiting for you to write your responses. You can be for, you can be against. And I'm going to be on both the sides. I'm going to argue from both the sides. Let's see what you have to say. Lalita ma'am, that was easy. I'm for this. I agree. Well, let me bring in an argument without friction. Um, I think, no, I don't want to say till now. I still want to wait. I love it. So Nidhi ma'am says, yes, AI is our accelerator as it is a part of our daily lives, but can never replace human touch, feelings, emotions. So we are here to control them and not the other way around. Thank you, Nidhi ma'am. And how I know this has not been copy and pasted by asking Copilot is because of the spellings of part. So thank you for that human touch. And Pooja ma'am is for the motion. Okay, you say yes because understanding students, motivating them, and helping them build character and values is something only we as humans can do. You're absolutely right. I think AI is your accelerator. It can boost your efficiency. It can be your personalization engine. It can help you bring in inclusiveness. It can even help me learn better in my professional growth. But I think AI is not always the accelerator. You know why? Because sometimes speed doesn't matter when depth matters. You have a risk of over automation. For everything, you'll go to AI and ask. Don't over rely, don't rely too heavily. Then there are ethical concerns. There are biases. Many a times, if my AI engine doesn't know me well, doesn't know my country, doesn't know my students, it's going to give me about students of another country because this model wasn't trained in my country. Therefore, a very big difference you will see when you are looking up for anything on Copilot commercial that is available free of cost to a certain extent, and an M365. Biases will come down like anything. Nidhi ma'am says, machines do help us, but they don't have kindness. Ask a machine to be kind to you, it'll be extra kind to you, but it'll be very plastic, right? I completely agree. And above all, I think human connection matters. Teaching is relational. No AI can replicate us. And I think the magic of spontaneousness in a classroom, like what I did right now. I never intended to bring a debate today over here, but I just felt the need to. So I think the middle ground has to be that AI can be your accelerator, but only when used with purpose. It will, and you let you decide what is the speed at which you need to prep up or personalize the path or expand, and you are the pilot, and co-pilot is only going to be your helper in the whole piece. I have two more comments. I'm going to read that. Vijay ma'am says, yes, I do agree. AI can be an accelerator, but human touch is beyond technology. Kudos to that. Ravinder sir says, I do agree with it because it is only through a lot of practice that we can use AI for the betterment of students. You're so right. Till then, it can only help us as an accelerator only. You're so right, to for AI to come to a stage where it'll think, talk, walk, everything like me. I don't even foresee that in the near future because I think it's my mind that is actually making me do so many things. And my mind can flip, change, stay in the same zone. Depends on what I'm thinking, where I am, and what I'm doing. Manjuram puts it aptly. AI can be a good servant, but we don't want to make it our master. On that note, this is one of the most beautiful pieces that I've heard. Thank you so much for, joining us today. It's been wonderful conversing with you. We do host multiple sessions. Those are our handles. Follow us, join us on our various platforms. Let's continue these conversations beyond this 1 hour and, stay connected. I'm going to give you these links in the chat window as well for you to take away. And of course, we have our own flagship programs, which are called the K-12 AI school programs. These are the three levels of programs. Join our programs. We'll be happy to, come to your school and, engage in these conversations with your schools. And of course, you do have a test today. uh, if you want to earn a certificate, this is not compulsory. This is completely up to you. If you want to earn a certificate for today, then you need to take a test. That test will have about 5 questions, which are based on today's session. You have to clear that with 80% marks and pay a nominal fee of 200 rupees. How to pay, where to pay is all given in that as a part of the test. And where is it given? It's given right here. So I'm going to give you this link in the chat window. There is no compulsion for you to earn this certificate, but I know many of you would want to earn a certificate for today's session. So if you wish to earn the certificate, go ahead and take the test. The test link is what I am giving in the chat window. You can also scan this QR code. I'm pushing this as well in the chat window, and you can take the test. Once you have cleared the test, we will take about 2 to 3 days to release your certificate or deliver your certificate to you. So, all the very best. Do take the test and all the best. See you in the next session. When? Well, that's going to be on. This is our December calendar. Make note of it. Share it with as many colleagues as you can. Bring them to our sessions. There's no cost to attending these sessions. Only when you have to earn the certificate, we request for taking a test. I'm going to meet you now on 16th of December, same time, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Using AI for deeper learning is what we are going to talk about. So see you on 16th. Do share your candid feedback. We appreciate your feedback. I'll share the link to the feedback in your chat window and also request you to go ahead and capture this. Take your test if you feel like taking a test. Giving you the feedback form in your chat window. Do give us a candid feedback. Would love to hear back from you. And of course, thank you so much for joining us. That's our Instagram handle to share with us, join us, follow us as you feel like. And I'll see you on 16th. Have a wonderful rest of the week ahead. Thank you and bye bye.